What's good? Lucky Lefty podcast. The Onora boys are in the building. I got my energy back.
That's right.
Brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you're going to drink, by all means, make sure that you do so
responsibly.
Man, left. Fantastic weekend. Have tons of stuff to get to. How you feeling, bro?
Feeling great, man. Back to start the week on top. And we here again, man, getting closer to all things football, especially in the spring.
So, yes, this morning, 5-star defensive tackle, Chicago, Illinois, St. Ignatius College Prep, Justin Scot, said he'll be visiting Notre Dame this upcoming weekend on the 25th. I'll be in town. That'll be right after the pro day, second practice of the weekend. Second practice of the spring. The first practice is Wednesday. So we'll be there. I'm sure at some point we'll cross paths, dap. We're not exactly allowed to talk to recruits when they're on campus. But you best believe once he leaves campus, you best believe we're going to have the inside info on how the visit went. He'll also be there with 5-star tight end Jaden Riddell out of St. Louis. So this is a huge recruiting weekend for Notre Dame. We'll give you the inside intel. I text with him this morning. Got a little information. We'll share that with you. Don't forget, tap in with Irish Breakdown, Brian Driscoll, Ryan Roberts, right after our show. I'm sure they'll get into that.
Right.
The Pot of Gold 25 offers that went out this weekend. Myself and Left will be back tomorrow with our top 5 offers that were given out on Friday. Our top 5 offers, the top 5 kids that we feel like, Notre Dame has to reel in these situations. And it's funny because, in my opinion, Notre Dame dropped the ball because when they sent out the Pot of Gold last year, Justin Scot didn't receive one.
Dropped the ball.
In my opinion, that was once again, this recruitment, in my opinion, should be over. Flat out should be done. And it almost was done on January 31st. And then he decided to forego that commitment date and do his due diligence. So we'll get into some of the things we talked about. We'll get into why it was important. Because after talking to him, understanding that he was going to take visits, he'll probably visit Georgia. He'll visit Ohio State again, and he'll visit Michigan. Because Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame were his top 3.
Yeah.
Before Georgia came a calling with their offer in January. So those will be the visits. He'll do his due diligence, and we'll talk about it a little bit later in the show, dive into it. Shout out to Nail Ivy. Let me tell you something. Tremendous coaching job. Regardless of whether or not the games were at home at Purcell Pavilion, down your best player. Olivia Miles will not be available for the tournament. And once again, she guides Notre Dame to the Sweet 16. And it's impressive because they went from a perimeter team with Olivia Miles and Centron, and now they've pounded it's Westfall and Ebo on the inside. They're pounding the ball in the paint. Great win, gritty win yesterday. And salute.
I'm telling you.
Salute to her.
I'm telling you, look, don't let her win one.
Salute.
Win one.
Salute. I see Notre Dame. I see in the chat Notre Dame fans are still in their feelings. Look, I understand, man. Seeing Brandon Hillman commit the note to Michigan over the weekend, it stung a little bit. Yeah. It did. It stung a little bit. It stung a little bit, but hey, it is what it is. Notre Dame is Notre Dame. We're going to get to that as well. You weren't with us on Friday, but Cam, and this is going to lead to the LL question of the day. Cam McDaniel said something, and he said maybe Notre Dame fans need to change their perspective. So the LL question of the day. Notre Dame fans, would you be cool with one national championship every 10 years? Would you be okay if Notre Dame won one national championship every 10 years? LL question of the day. Because, for a while there, I was greedy. I wanted 2 and 3 years. I wanted 2 and 5.
I think for Marcus Freeman, no. Before, if we had I think with Marcus Freeman, I think 2 or 3 would be amazing. But I would like to see Marcus Freeman not be there for 10 years and win one.
At this point,
at this point, yes. But ideally, it would be nice to see in 10 years he leave with 2 or 3.
That would, yeah. Forget leaving. What you leaving for? You got 2 or 3. Where you going? To the NFL?
Oh, shoot. Go anywhere at that point. It depends. Is Notre Dame going to pay him if he win 2 or 3? That's the question.
Oh, man. Doma Wop says, absolutely. Brian Loftus, thank you for tapping in. At this point, yes, man, it's been 35 years. Coach Vic said, yes, until we get that one. Anthony O said, nope, I want to win every year. Who else do we have? Old Grim, thank you for tapping in. He said he wants one every 6 years.
It's pretty good. One every 6. That's to keep you relevant enough.
Anthony Solomon says one every 5 isn't too much to ask, correct?
That's not too much to ask. I think if you win one every 5, that means your recruiting cycle is pretty consistent.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that. Apple Podcast, Spotify, also YouTube, Lucky Lefty channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Smash that like button for us. All of our great content. Man, it's every Sunday. Don't forget to download the best of Lucky Lefty. CFB Nation, Irish Breakdown. Gotcha. This week's version of Best of Lucky Lefty was our interview with the Slippery Fox, Chris Fink. The Slippery Fox himself. Go over there to Irish Breakdown and download that. If you didn't drop that, we drop the best of every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. CFB Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast, home of the misguided passion. You already know. We spit it different. Double Down said, hell yes, it's been since 1988.
It's been a good minute.
Dude, let's see who else. Richard Powell, thank you for tapping in. I would accept one every 10, provided we were top 4 every year of those 10. That means we're seriously competing for one every year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
see. Kendrick Heath, I'm good with one every 10 years as long as we're contenders every year. Well, heck, contenders means you make it into the playoff, right? Because the playoff is about to expand.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame more than likely is going to be able, they don't feel the pressure with the expansion to have to go undefeated now every year. Would you back off the schedule, Left? If you were Jack Swarbrick and you don't have that pressure to have a tremendous schedule without the conference affiliation, and now you can actually lose a game and still get into the playoff, would you lessen the difficulty of the schedule moving forward?
I think if I'm Jack Swarbrick, you would want to maintain that level of strength to pull the attraction throughout the season. I do believe that it keeps recruiting up when you continue to keep up competitive games. I can speak personally. I love the fact that the schedule was the way it was because I wanted to play the best teams around the country instead of just thinking, oh, I got to go SEC or, oh, I got to go Big Ten exclusively. So being able to have that, we're not just playing Tulane and North Texas every week. We're playing formidable teams that's worth watching on TV. I think that playing top competition throughout the regular season uh, is really good, not only for the program, but it's good for the kids to uh, get a chance to see their level of expertise and their level of play compared to other talented teams that could be their homeboys that go to other top schools or uh, teams that are really competitive in the year. I think adding strength to the schedule will be even better, uh, regardless of the playoff system, especially having the confidence of what Marcus Freeman is bringing to the program and how he's building it. That is, I think it would be good to have these games because it would make our prospects better and continue that NFL pipeline that we have.
I can see that. I think we've talked about it before, right? Stanford going in the opposite direction. Should you drop them off, especially with UCLA coming into the Big Ten with USC, and you just alternate or just play home and away with USC and UCLA every year,
Yeah.
right? You can do that, or you can just add maybe another Pac-12. Heck, throw Deion Sanders and Colorado on the schedule down the line. You know, I wouldn't mind going up there in the snow and kicking their tails.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind it at all. So it should be very interesting to see how Notre Dame navigates things and whether or not they choose to take some of the tough games and add some mid-tier games. Well, I don't want to say mid-tier, but I mean, you know, that just goes against the brand, though. Notre Dame is all about playing a tough national schedule, and that
Yeah.
is the brand.
That's
You
the
know,
brand.
that's part of the pitch of recruiting as well. So
Yeah, you don't want to lose that edge that you have as Notre Dame being a powerhouse playing other competitive teams. I mean, that's how they built the resume as being quote unquote America's favorite team
yeah,
back when radio started. They were playing across the country. Teams and other fans were excited when Notre Dame came to your city because it brought the attention similar to now. I mean, we gave Ohio State one of their best games of the season because we came to town, and it was a night game and LeBron came for us. So uh, I think it's something that can be said that helps in recruiting. It helps make the case of why being independent as Notre Dame and the brand is even more valuable and worthwhile is because we're doing things on our own schedule. Uh, Coming to Notre Dame, your schedule can look different every year. We
yeah.
had Texas one year, we got USC every year, we got LSU a year. I mean, I think if you're a competitive athlete in high school, Notre Dame is no doubt one of the schedules that you're putting at your top three, off the bat. I know two SEC schools have probably been there. I feel like Ohio State loses in recruiting because of their schedule a little bit. And I think it does have some negative impact when the only games that people are caring about are the game at the end of the year and maybe at the game at the beginning of the year. But, I think it's interesting.
Let me write this down. 1432. Malik gets us to go viral on Ohio State websites again. I love it. I love it. I love it, baby. You keep us going. You keep us tagged into Ohio State and
I'm
Ohio
just,
State fans. Well, I love it. Keep doing it. We
uh,
love, man. We love you, Buckeye fans. This aguas for you.
but seriously, I mean, Alabama keeps consistent recruiting throughout the 10 years or so that they've been doing it because the strength of schedule and the fact that they play at Sam Houston State or whatever, but it's the SEC, so you can sneak in some of them teams that Ohio State on a consistent basis. I mean, I think Chase Young would have got more experience playing in the SEC, prepared him for the NFL than
Yeah.
one of the Big Ten and just dominating Michigan tackles once every 11 games and then going to the playoffs against a team outside of that scope in the Big Ten and looking regular, against Trevor Lawrence in the game. So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
I got Coach Vic 7 said something very interesting here, Left. He said, actually, I want the Tom Izzo status. Every 4-year player should play in at least one Final Four game. And that is something that has been part of his recruitment pitch, is that every player that plays for me goes to a Final Four. And you have to feel pretty good hearing that as a recruit.
Think about how Alabama feels. Every person that leaves here is leaving with a couple of rings. You're going to get an SEC ring for sure. Well, not the last 2 years, but the last 10, you're going to get a conference ring.
Yeah.
Love them. You're going to get a couple of them championship rings, and you're going to have like 40 wins under your belt. 30, 40 wins under your belt, 60 wins as a class, something ridiculous,
And first round status.
You coming in at 20, my year, you coming in 2014, 2013. You were out. Nick Saban was like telling me, he told me on the phone, he said, listen, you come here.
Yeah.
You're going to compete, but you're going to leave with some hardware. And you're going to go to the league. And and right after that, I mean, you got Derrick Henry, you got, all the monsters they got. So that's the recruiting pitch I would love Marcus Freeman to say. Yeah, like you come here, you're going to leave with a national championship, a couple of them. And saying that recruiting pitch for 5 years, 10 years. It wasn't until lately where he's like, look, we're going to be in the running. Before he used to say, we're winning it. Now he's saying we're in the running. We're going to be in the last couple games. Marcus Freeman, what a easy recruiting pitch. You probably wouldn't have to fly around that much. How much do you think Nick Saban's really flying around these days?
Nick Saban didn't even interview Tommy face to face in Tuscaloosa, bro. Like, look, he's on his Godfather stuff so heavy right now. It's crazy.
Because all the recruits that I see in Alabama, they in his office taking the picture.
Facts.
They not catching Nick Saban at no park.
Dude, I haven't seen Nick Saban in a recruiting picture in like 5 years, bro.
If you taking a picture with Saban, it's in his office.
That cat Saban just appears out of nowhere, like first day of spring practice. Like, oh snap, there's coach.
There's coach.
There's coach right there.
You didn't see your strength coach the whole time, your position coach maybe, but you ain't seen Saban to that. Get the blowing the whistle.
Nick, but when you build the brand to where it recruits itself, I think he was very purposeful and intentional with this 23 class because he knew that things were slipping and he saw how strong Georgia was getting. So it's personal for him now.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's personal for him now, right? Because he lost to Kirby.
Georgia, yeah, he thinking about beating Georgia.
He had never lost to one of his former coaches. Yeah.
He damn near probably got Kelly circled on the schedule.
Right. So
Kelly stole the win.
The SEC should definitely be very interesting. Very interesting in 2023.
Oh,
Lucky Lefty podcast was good.
Shout out Amir Carlisle, my guy. Director of Player Personnel at ND now. Congratulations.
Oh, that's right. I saw that.
Yeah, that's I'm surprised.
Look, I'm gonna chop it up with him when I see him this weekend. But that is huge.
Huge.
That is huge. Did you know he was interviewing for the job?
Last time I talked to Amir, he was working on building this bank app for some super tech finance thing.
Some Notre Dame post football stuff.
And then training kids with his dad type of deal. But man, I didn't even. And then he got it. It's one thing to interview.
And then he got it.
That's what the big ups come from getting it. One thing that's why I'm pretty sure he wasn't talking too much about it because you don't want to hype it up like you applying for it and not get it. You know what I'm saying? So congratulations to him. Now all they got left is to open that GM position and tell him to be on that computer. Type the application. Send in my reference letters.
Yo. So we have contact them, bro. We got to get them on before it's official.
Yes. I mean, he got his name tag on the wall now.
Yes.
Outside the office. I said, oh, shoot.
So
they call you Mr. Carlisle in the building.
So look here. Until he changes his Twitter title, he's fair game. We gotta get him.
Yeah.
Call him, let him know we need him on the show tomorrow. Look, I'm the producer normally. LL Nation, Malik, right here. He should be texting him right now.
Right now.
Like, yo, we need you on the show tomorrow before everything is like ...
What's up, man?
This is how we do it. We spin it different.
Yeah, we just gonna get direct. We can a direct line journalism right here. Direct journalism.
Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube. I would tell you to pull the Nori Drink Champs and just call them and put them on speaker.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna have to in a minute. But he got kids now, so
CFP Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. All of our great content. Leave 5 stars. Leave your comments. We respond to all. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. You already know. We spin it different. Woo! That's
director player. That's huge, man. That's
huge.
Well, his dad was the strength coach for like NFL teams for a long time. NFL refs, Purdue, when Purdue was like kind of fast for the few years, they had the 4-2 running backs, But man, congratulations, man. Hopefully, I mean, what is the title? Like, what is the objectives as a player personnel? You handling the media relations? What you handling as the player director?
I mean, hopefully it has something to do with NIL. Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely has
hopefully he can come in there and work with ND Media and talk about the importance of expanding the media coverage. And, you don't have to be Deion Sanders in Colorado, but you have to do something. You have a charismatic head coach.
Hey.
I'm sure that would not mind being followed around.
He needs it.
During the week. Absolutely. Sell the program.
He need a little YouTube show, just something on the. I mean, hey, he ain't too far out the generation of the TikToks and now he need to be coaching too, but as the head coach, you more of like the quarterback.
Yeah.
You don't gotta go run and get the first down necessarily, but you can draw up a play, get your media strategy because you know why it's gonna lead to his clothing line. That the next apparel deal needs to come in with that fine print.
Yeah.
That Marcus Freeman line in that fine print, and Jack needs to sign off on it as a favor. For a favor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could, Jack can hand you a script. I just need you to get that Marcus Freeman line, man. Help my guy out.
So, like I said, fantastic weekend of sports viewing, Left. Fantastic.
Man.
Like Saturday was incredible. And I get a break in between games. I'm getting ready to watch the Northwestern UCLA game. And
game too.
Yes, it was. Shout out to Northwestern. They game effort. Very game effort. Shout out to Chi-Town Zone, Amari Bailey, doing things for the Bruins.
Wait.
He's from Chicago, bro.
Wait a minute.
Do your research.
He's definitely not claiming Chicago, though. He's claiming.
That's not true. It's not true.
Okay.
Not true.
Well,
first of all, look.
To me.
First of all,
I'm sorry, Bailey fan.
You could be a fan. My daughter is his girl.
Okay.
Not girlfriend, but I mean he reps Chicago.
Chicago. Okay.
Yeah, when he's out in Cali, he reps Chicago or the crew. that they kick it in. So yes, let's relax. There you go. I let all you Dayton cats get y'all.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me why Dayton is always a location in a tournament? What is so special about Dayton, dude?
Oh, well, in fact, we have
Here
a
we
lot
go.
of historical.
I was looking for a quick answer, bro. I don't need a dissertation. I was looking for a quick answer, but go ahead.
Well, we bring all the world leaders. Back
Okay.
in Obama's time,
Okay.
we bring all the world leaders to Dayton to show them the real culture of America. In Dayton, Ohio, was the first game of the tournament.
Yeah.
That's that right there.
Yeah.
If we didn't have that, there will be no tournament.
Yeah.
So Dayton, Ohio has a stronghold in basketball culture because remember who beat UCLA when they was undefeated? Back when they had Kareem and all them guys. It was Dayton.
Yeah.
Dayton beat them. Dayton we got the plaque and all type. Look, we're the shift of culture in basketball.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying. That's why
like I said, back to our regularly scheduled programming. I want to say in between games, I got a chance to switch over. I had turned away from the World Baseball Classic. We had a quarterfinal game between Venezuela and the United States. And I'm watching the game, and it's a fabulous game. The United States jumps out 3-0. I turn back, it's 5-2. So when I turn back, Venezuela has scored 5 consecutive runs to go up 7-5. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Of course, I turn back, and who's standing at the plate for the United States? None other than Chicago White Sox, Tim Anderson, who draws a nice walk. Then the polar bear gets a bloop single.
Wait, is the game against Canada?
No, this is the game against Venezuela.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They load the bases, and eventually Trey Turner hits a grand slam. And yo, because they were playing in Miami. Well, you already know Miami is nothing but a mixture of Latino, Cuban,
it's little
crazy.
Havana.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Stadium goes crazy. They win the game, and then they go on to defeat Cuba yesterday in the semifinals. And now they wait to see who they go. They fly to Japan today. Tomorrow night is the championship. Either they'll face Japan or they'll face Mexico, who they lost to earlier in pool play. So it's going to be very interesting. Dude, everything was dramatic. Everything was dramatic this weekend. It's absolutely fantastic. And this is why I sent out a tweet yesterday, Left, that for some reason got all types of responses. And it was the responses that I got had nothing to do with what I meant by the tweet.
Of course.
Right?
It never does, right?
But people actually started breaking it down, right? So I said college hoops is no different than college football. This weekend was more evidence. First of all, I want to say that let me tell you why college basketball and March Madness has it.
Okay.
Number one, it is the greatest collection of coaching that you will ever see in one weekend of sports. The coaching in college basketball is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, especially, you mean from adjustments week to game?
Just dude, when you talk about the underdogs and the coaches and the adjustments they make and how they use their style of play to go up against teams like Purdue and Kansas.
Purdue and FDU, and they just kept going to the top.
It's absolutely phenomenal to see the coaches and X's and O's and how they use their strengths to bring out the weaknesses of the bigger teams, right? You see 10 fantastic coaches every year on the lower levels. Notre Dame, let me tell you something. If Jack Swarbrick can't come away with a big-time coach from this tournament, he's not good at his job.
We should have got the dude from last year that brought the Cinderella team.
He's not good at his job, right? You look at Nate Oates was a darling just about 4 or 5 years ago at Buffalo in the tournament.
Yeah.
And look what he's built at Alabama.
Killing it.
Every year, there's a Nate Oates in the tournament.
Every year.
Find them.
That's how Shaka got his start.
Absolutely. Go find them. No, there's no excuse for Notre Dame's men's basketball program not to come out of this tournament when it's all said and done with a big-time hire as their next men's
The
basketball.
lower hires, I feel like, in basketball are the sweetest ones.
Yes.
For whatever reason, the older basketball coaches, okay, you can get away with it, but there's always the up-and-coming junior community college basketball coach that's undefeated for like 3 years in a row, goes to a small team, makes them really good.
Yes.
I don't know what it is about the small-time basketball coaches that, I mean, it's amazing to see in the tournament these smaller teams on paper on the roster spots play huge against teams that have been the darling of all. I mean, like, it's just like, man, where are these teams? I think college basketball is way more even than college football.
Heck yeah. First of all,
which is why I think it's different.
You don't have as many scholarships to corral the top of the talent. The transfer portal makes it easy for the talent to be dispersed. And then it's not enough scholarships, too. There's some very talented hoopers across this country.
Wait, you don't think there's enough? Wait, in terms of like full ride scholarships, I thought there was more.
Bro, there are young men playing D2 basketball and D1, double A, that are definitely worthy to be in the tournament, that have the skills to be in the tournament. We see it all the time. Fairleigh Dickinson, their coach leaves a Division II school, brings 3 players with him. And they're playing in the tournament this year, killing.
Yeah.
That's the amount of talent that is dispersed throughout because the opportunities just aren't there, right?
Wait, do you think that was is that a combination with good coaching? You know how if a quarterback has a great coach, he's going to be better on whatever level at that time.
Yeah.
Do you think it travels? I think coaching matters more in basketball than in football.
Well, it's coaching matters from the standpoint of game plan.
Right.
You have to be able to adjust. And this is why it's just like football. Coaching matters.
Yeah, it does.
Don't disrespect Kirby and Dabo and Nick Saban like they just roll the ball out, roll the pass out. Just, no. Coaching matters.
Yes.
They're really good coaches. They're really good coaches. Kansas is at home. And shout out to Norm Roberts. Man, right-hand man to Bill Self. Right-hand man to Bill Self when he was the head coach of the Fighting Illini. He was a big imprint of why Chicago once again came to the forefront for Illinois recruiting when Bill Self got down there from Tulsa. But let me tell you something. You up four with 3 minutes left in that game against Arkansas. Bill Self brings that home if he's on the sideline. And speedy recovery to Bill Self after his procedure. If Bill Self is on the sideline instead of Norm Roberts, Kansas is beating Arkansas.
Kansas would have beat them because Kansas looked like they had no offense that whole time. That last 6-minute stretch, they didn't even have a basket or even an attempt. It was just look real sloppy.
That's one thing. Coaching matters. That's my first point. That's what I want to point out because it is really a display. It's almost like a conference of the best coaches.
Yeah,
you really get to see them going at it against one another. And you get to see what the coaches at schools like Florida Atlantic, who was a surprise all year, top 25 team, Fairleigh Dickinson, Coach Henderson, who 20 years ago was the point guard for Princeton when they beat number 1 UCLA. Now he's the head coach, and you see what Princeton is doing. It's just, man, it's phenomenal narratives, phenomenal stories, and it is clearly a display of great coaching. It's one of the best displays of coaching over a weekend that you're going to see.
Absolutely. And you'll see that with the college football expansion playoffs. The coaching week to week in playoff situations.
I hope so.
It'll be like bowl game every game.
Yeah.
And how they maybe not as close, but you'll see a lot of who can coach and who can't. Because I think college football and how it's been framed, because it's only been 4 teams in the playoffs when it matters.
Yeah.
You're gonna see a lot of coaches get exposed for not being able to coach. That's going to change a lot in college football because most of the time guys are getting paid to recruit.
Yes.
The best coaches are most of the time the ones in the Final Four, which is the ones that we expect. There's great coaching at Alabama for the most part. Not last year. I'm not a Bill O'Brien fan, so I wouldn't say last year. But they usually have great coaching. Georgia has the best coaches. I would say they have the best coaches in college football. The way they're able to just, I would say it's more than just the talent they have. They're out scheming teams.
Who is this? I'm glad you said that, Left. Because you can out scheme all you want to. This is another reason. So number one, coaching. College football and college basketball are the same thing. You need some darn good coaches to win.
There's better coaches in college basketball, though, than in college football. Because think about it, high school football can't even coach that well.
You think so?
Listen, high school football.
I'll take your word for it, Left.
And college, well, most of college football coaches, because a lot of it is the information that what makes the college game different than the NFL.
Yeah.
Is a huge gap because of coaching. There's so many gimmicks you can do in football now, where it's harder to do gimmick basketball. Like you can do a fast break, you could be a half court team, but in football, you can do the wing tee. That takes a certain level of coaching. Or you can be an air raid and everything in between. So I think the level of coaching that you have to get everybody on the same page in football is way harder than basketball. Basketball has as many coaches as players.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool, but it's hard to do in football.
Yeah. Number one, Sweet 16 starts on March 23rd. We talked about coaching. Number two, just like college football, you need dudes, right? Because you have more players on the field in football, you need more dudes. You say, well, what are you saying? You need first round talent. If you're going to win a championship, whether in football or basketball, you need elite talent.
Need some freaks.
You need elite talent. Out of the 16 teams left in this tournament, 6 of those teams have lottery picks. Out of the 16 teams, 6 of the teams have projected lottery picks in the 2023 draft, and another 3 have guys projected to the first round that could sneak into the lottery with a performance in the Sweet 16 and possibly the Final Four. And you need big-time talent to win. I don't care how more spread out the talent is.
You got to have NBA guys at least.
You need dudes to win national titles. Period. Well, you talk about Nate Oates.
Wait a minute.
How great a coach he is. He's a much better coach when Brandon Miller is on the floor. I guarantee you that.
Are you saying to win it or to get there? Because Loyola don't have any NBA talent.
Loyola ain't win a darn thing. What are you talking about?
They got to the Final Four.
Name me a champion that did not have a first round lottery pick.
Butler.
Butler didn't win a championship.
Yeah, they did.
Well, they didn't.
Oh, who?
They lost to Duke.
Oh, that's right. Let me think. Are you sure?
I'm positive. Alakino said UNC went to the championship last year. None of them dudes going.
Armando Bangkok is going though.
Dude, first of all, Caleb Love was after his performance in the tournament. Caleb Love he was projected to go first round. He decided to come back. He turned down a first round pick to come back and win a championship.
And
Period.
Tournament. That's crazy.
Now, the fact that he had a terrible season this year, he messed up. He messed it up.
He just did his Matt Barkley and shit.
He was hot as fish grease.
You gotta go when you hot.
He was hot as fish grease.
Yeah, you can't
coming off that last year.
Come on, you can't fall in love with the.
He blew that.
If you max out your talent, leave. It's okay,
dude. He was hot as. He let RJ Davis and his boys talk him into coming back to win a championship. Bro, you a lottery pick right now. You hot as fish grease. You dropping like back-to-back 30 games. Yeah. Jump shot is fire.
He might not even be. He might be second round now.
I mean, there you go.
Damn. See, basketball sucks. There's only two rounds you can get drafted.
Like Jay Henry said, Villanova, I think Dante DiVincenzo was the MVP of that game and got taken in the first round.
Yes, DiVincenzo's a baller that game too.
Jalen Brunson was on that squad. You see how Jalen Brunson, you have to have dudes.
Gotta have dudes.
You're not winning a championship in college basketball without dudes.
Without dudes, no.
You're not. It's just like college football. You're not. As much as people want to talk about, how competitive it is. Like I said, dude, 6 of the 16 teams have a lottery player. And we're really getting cheated because the dudes that are playing in the G League should be playing in the tournament.
Yeah.
Which would make it better. So you feel like you're being cheated, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
Scooter Henderson in the playoffs.
It's crazy. And yeah, Mikal Bridges was on that team. Look, people act like Jay Wright was just out there coaching bums. Jay Wright has players in the NBA You cannot win championships, whether it's football, basketball, without having dudes, man. You just can't. You can't. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
What's the coach? He was like 60 years old. Name skips my mind right now. He left Michigan. He was there before Juwan Howard. He left Michigan. He went to the Cavs. He failed miserably. This dude went and got both Wagner brothers, right? He had Trey Burke. He had Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yep.
He went and got dudes and turned that program. That's what Michigan. Jordan Poole from Chicago.
Oh, he from Chicago too?
Yeah, that's why I was kind of embarrassed when he got smacked that way by Draymond. I ain't really want to say too much.
Yeah. Oh, he lost in Chicago.
That's one of those where you don't claim like, oh.
He didn't respond like a Chicagoan.
No. But no, seriously. Point number 2, you need a dude. You need dudes.
Notre Dame, we had Luke Hezenberg.
Luke Herringgoldie?
Herringgoldie?
I don't know. But yeah, Karis LeVert was another player.
Karis LeVert was
that came through that program at that time. You need some dudes, man. You're not winning without dudes.
We had the year we had Jaron Grant, Demetrius, Zach August. We had some dudes. That's how we got to the Elite Eight.
But who was the dude? Who was that lottery pick?
Frank Kaminsky. He was nice that year for Wisconsin. When they won, because didn't Wisconsin win?
Yeah. No, they didn't win. They got to the Final Four. They lost to Duke.
Oh, that's right.
Because Duke had like 3 lottery picks on their squad. And Grayson Allen was coming off the bench.
Who's in the league? We had Pat Connaughton, though.
Pat Connaughton is not a dude, man. He's a role player in the league. So that's a dude? You comparing him to Kevin? He's Kevin Durant now?
Oh, there's only one Kevin Durant. Pat Connaughton is a well-respected 10-year vet with a ring. That has to mean something. Giannis, Batman, and Robin,
But what was the point we're making?
You got
Pat Connaughton was not carrying anybody to a championship in college. Stop that. Stop it. Stop it.
We got to run back their little tournament run. He was.
Oh, they had a great game against Kentucky. That game against Kentucky was Amazing.
We should have won that game.
Amazing. That's number 2. You need a dude. Notre Dame, you got to go get some dudes to win a championship in college football. You need some dudes, some first-round dudes. You're not winning a national championship without first-round dudes on the roster.
We got first-round guys, though.
Who?
Isaiah
Who?
Paulsky.
One. You need multiple.
Okay.
Michael Mayer,
obviously.
And you're not guaranteed that Foskey's going first round.
Okay, we're talking about projected. He's projected first round.
Okay.
You know, anything can happen in the first round.
Okay.
But the talent level, I think
wait.
This is the first round talent.
How many does Georgia have going first round this year?
Okay, but that's
no, because we're talking about winning championships. Stop taking it personal. You're not winning championships in college football.
They have 25 stars.
It doesn't matter.
That's a first round talent. That's why they killing it at Georgia.
Okay, go get talent. Go get 2 5-stars. You don't have to get 20. Go get 2 or 3 every year.
Our fate changes at Notre Dame with a quarterback, a 5-star quarterback. That's how our fate changes. We got first-round talent, maybe not 5-star talent. We got first-round talent because a lot of first-rounders don't even be 5 stars in high school. So we got the talent of a first-rounder, but we first-rounder at the quarterback position, or we just going to be average.
Not necessarily. I mean, Georgia doesn't have a first-round quarterback.
Not talent-wise, but he might, you know.
Come on, man. Lefty podcast. Malik is trying to take the point of this conversation, like totally just derail it. The third thing that the tournament showed, that college basketball, just like college football, you can say what you want to. The world, I can go find 6'1", 6'2", 6'3" guards that can hoop.
Oh, yeah.
They're everywhere.
Yeah,
they're everywhere. Tournament shows you that every year.
They're everywhere.
There's 5'7", 5'9", 6 foot, 6'1", 6'3" guards that can hoop.
Who will be great
everywhere.
Corners, by the way. Who will be great corners and make a lot more money, you know.
They're everywhere. They can hoop. And what does everyone say? When you get the march, you need guards. Well, guards are at a premium. Everybody, you can go find a guard hanging on a tree in the inner city anywhere. There's good guards all over the world.
Anywhere.
Everywhere. You know what's not all over the world?
Big men.
6'7", 6'8", 6'9", skilled, big athletic players.
Oh, like fours and threes and stuff.
3s, 4s, 5s.
Yeah.
Let's look at it. Kansas State.
They got Keontae Johnson from Florida. He's nice.
Michigan State. Yep.
They're always
UConn. Yep. Arkansas has 2 lottery picks on their team. Projected. 2. And they're an 8 seed left. But you're wondering how they're able to win games.
No, yeah,
they got most of it. Lottery picks. They have dudes. Tennessee. Not so much. Tennessee is almost like a reincarnation of the Detroit Pistons and the New York Knicks of the 90s, dude.
No lottery pick is tough.
No, Florida Atlantic, right? I think they have with Davis, Janelle Davis, they have a borderline first round, but their style is different. Like they play, they hit 10 threes a game. They play upbeat. That's why that Florida Atlantic Fairleigh Dickinson game was so phenomenal, because they play the same way. And Florida Atlantic just had more at the end of the game. Then you had UCLA. Amari Bailey's probably going to end up being a lottery pick down the line. Yeah. Maybe not this year.
Next year.
Gonzaga has Drew Timmy's going to be a first-round pick.
Yeah, first-round pick.
Heck, he's been at Gonzaga long enough. He should be the best interior player, right? But what did they do? Because Gonzaga consistently couldn't get over the hump. So guess what Mark Few went and did? He went to the transfer portal. He found a bunch of 6'6", 6'7" guys that were big, athletic, and skilled. And it came through yesterday in that matchup that allowed them to get past TCU. Miami, they got a Wong is absolutely amazing. Jim Larrañaga always has great guards. Jim Larrañaga got to a Final Four with Vermont, bro. Well, not Vermont, but I forget the name of the squad. He beat Connecticut and went to the Final Four with. He can coach his tail off, but he goes out and he gets long, athletic dudes, 6'7", 6'8", versatile. It helps the defense. You can switch. You don't have to drop coverage and allow the best guards in the country, which are on full display in the tournament, to have their way. Creighton. I watched Creighton in Arkansas in the semifinal of the Maui Classic back in December. It was a heavyweight bout.
Yeah.
We talk about two teams that went through injuries, dealt with tough times, and now the cream is rising back to the top because they were both top 15 teams at the time.
Yeah.
People projected them to be Sweet 16 teams, and here we are. Princeton. You know the difference? You know the difference between Princeton now and Princeton of old? They have 2 6'9" big men that can shoot, dribble, pass, dunk, block shots. They're more athletic. They're more athletic, so they're more dangerous. As many guards as you want to have, and this goes to football, as many wide receivers, running backs, all of those special talented players you have on the perimeter. The game is won and the advantage is taken in the trenches.
Yes.
You need bigs in basketball and football to win games.
Bigs.
Everybody, look, you can talk about it. Look.
Skill bigs.
A-guard, Walker, fantastic guard combination from Michigan State. Fantastic. Yeah. Once Malik Hall, 6'7", small forward, power forward, got hurt, Michigan State was trash.
They was trash.
They were trash.
They couldn't do nothing, it looked like.
Because it forced Joey Hauser to play his position. Joey Hauser is not as skilled as Malik Hall. He's not as good defensively, so it hurt their team defense. What did Izzo say yesterday? We found our defense at the end of the season. Why? Malik Hall got healthy. Your big athletic skill big got healthy. Now your defense is locked in. Now your offense can run fluid because he can stretch guys out and open the lanes for your guards to do work. It's the same thing in football. Your bigs up front make it easier for the little guys.
The skilled ones.
If they make it easier for the skilled guy, and you're not winning without the big dudes. This is why Justin Scott visiting this weekend is, it's vitally important moving forward for this Notre Dame program.
Vitally. You
have to get the Justin Scotts of the world into Notre Dame and into the program. You have to. That's the only way you're going to win national championships. You need dudes that are big guys.
Got to get bodies.
You have to. TCU had Quentin Johnson. They had all of these small wide receivers that run 4-2, 4-3.
Yep.
They had the quick running backs. They had Max Duggan.
Texas is always crazy with recruiting because they always have fast, like even Texas now.
Man.
They have a great squad.
I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, I'm watching this basketball tournament.
Yeah.
And it's just like college football.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed. You're not winning with a bunch of dudes. You don't have to have a team full of 7-footers.
No.
But you better have a nice collection of 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", big athletic skilled people that can play both ends of the floor.
That's right.
Because that's what gives you the advantage. That's what gives you the advantage. So you got to have coaching. Number one, it's the same as college football as it is in the tournament. Coaching is premium. Number two, you got to have dudes.
Dudes.
You got to have dudes to win championships. And number three, not only do you need to have dudes, you got to have some heart, bro.
Yeah.
The styles make fights. That's the amazing thing. Styles make fights. That's what made Ohio State against Georgia so intriguing. Ohio State had one of the only styles that could probably take advantage of Georgia.
And that's the best quarterback in the country. And the best receiver in the country.
And the best receivers. It was the same thing that allowed Alabama to take advantage of Georgia in the SEC championship game the previous year.
They
It's
had
the same formula.
Rounders, 3 first rounders.
The same formula.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't enough.
No.
You know why? Georgia had them dudes. They had the dudes. This is what I love about Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman, to me, Left. This is the coach he reminded me of when I was watching the tournament. Do you remember the coach of Fairleigh Dickinson before they played? Purdue.
Yeah.
Coleman Anderson was caught saying, the more I watch Purdue, the more I feel like we can
beat them. Yeah.
Marcus Freeman had a moment like that. It was on the Monday before the Clemson game. You go listen to that press conference. Marcus Freeman pretty much said, we're ready. On a Monday, Left.
Yeah.
Yeah, my team is ready to go win. On a Monday.
That was coming off of the bye. That was coming off of that good win.
I think that was coming. Was that coming off that Syracuse win?
Yeah, it was coming off the Syracuse win.
Coming off the Syracuse win?
Yeah.
And I remember pointing it out like, yo, this dude is really confident. Like, he has seen something.
Because we were clicking in the Syracuse game.
Yes, he's seen something in watching this film of Clemson where he's like, yo.
Yeah, because Clemson had just struggled with Syracuse. Had just struggled with them the game before, right?
Yeah, I think Cade Klubnik had to come in and rescue. Well, no, yeah, had to come in.
Or went down to the wire.
DJ didn't play. But, that's what stood out to me, Left.
Yeah.
It is very much, college basketball is very much just like college football when it comes to winning. It's not a little man's game. It's just not. Neither one of them are little bit game for a little bit. Like, can guards have great performances? Absolutely. But those that win championships, you think about Kansas last year. I think their starting lineup went 6'2", 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". It was crazy. You had like Brown, Wilson, Abaji. Dude.
Abaji's a beast too.
The game is about the big dudes. It's about the big dudes.
We definitely need to recruit those big dudes up front.
You need the big dudes to take that next step.
Defensively, we need a big 330 D tackle. Man, that just makes you feel complete.
And I'm with you, Left. I think Notre Dame has talent. That's not what we were, discussing. I think everybody in the Sweet 16 has talent.
Okay, better question. Do you think we have dudes that just haven't been unlocked in their potential?
That is very much a possibility, Left. That is very much a possibility. But once again, that goes to the coaching, right?
Yes.
That goes to the coaching. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how Notre Dame in the 24 class and the 25 class deal with the big dudes. I'll be honest. I might not be impressed. They already have Cam Williams in the fold. If they add a Ryan Wingo, if they add a Robinson, if they add an Emmett Mosley, like, okay, that's back-to-back great classes at the wide receiver. But what does it mean?
What does it mean?
If the defensive line recruiting.
What does it mean?
And the offensive line recruiting isn't up to snuff. Like, ultimately, what is it going to mean in the chase for a national championship? Yeah, it can be considered a nice class, but how close are you to winning a national championship?
The national championship is coming down to D linemen, receivers, and quarterbacks. If you have some really, really good D linemen, really, really good receivers, and a really good quarterback, that's a recipe for a playoff spot, potentially championship.
So, and this is not an absolute, right? But I'm just giving you something that every year bears out in college football and college basketball. Lottery players usually lead. You usually find the lottery players in the Sweet 16, in the Elite Eight. Like I said, dude, Arkansas has 3 players that might get drafted in the first round. Arkansas was an 8 seed, bro, that beat my Illini. They had 3 dudes in the starting lineup that could go first round. And you wonder why they're doing so well. Talent, man. Talent and good coaching.
But that's what we're missing, though. We're missing the 3 components to a national championship team. A first-round quarterback, first-round D lineman, or first-round receivers. That's how Alabama won. D lineman, first-round receivers, first-round quarterback. Clemson, when they went to that national championship, Trevor Lawrence, the 4 D lineman All-American, and then T. Higgins, Justin Ross, and Hunter Renfrow. Georgia, first-round ability, Stetson Bennett, the D lineman, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, the dude that got drafted to the Jags first round last year, Trayvon Walker, and then they had George Pickens, AJ Mitchell, the guy that went to Alabama, Burton. They won a championship. Where are we always missing? We always missing that impactful D line, receivers that are untapped, and a quarterback that's not giving us enough. That's why we lose the big games. We look at the game versus USC.
When we talk to your boy, go ahead, Left. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. USC is missing the D lineman. That's why they can't get there. They can make a run, but you need the 3 pieces. Ohio State, it was nice. First generational quarterback, receivers, and a D line. Chase Young, all the Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa. That's the recipe. Michigan thought they had it. J.J. McCarthy, Hayden Hutchinson, but the receivers that just not impactful enough. And he showed it in the TCU game.
Yeah.
TCU, they had no D lineman, had no chance against Georgia. They had everything else. Tim Tebow at quarterback and the receiver Quentin Johnson and the little fast guys, but no D line. So until we get I'm talking about it's got to be an all-star D line, not just a couple guys, because that's where we always lacking.
Yeah.
If we just get a first-round D line, everything else is going to be all right. Because you're rushing the quarterback. Your secondary can be a little
when your boy Robert Hainsey joined us, and he said, "Man, I know we can beat these teams, man. I just feel like, man, we can beat these teams. I just don't know what the difference is." Them dudes,
receivers,
quarterback. Because wait a minute, because the Alabama offensive line does not have to face the same caliber of dudes that your offensive. Notre Dame's offensive line always has to go up against a different caliber in playoff games. Notre Dame's offensive line always has to face a better defensive line than their counterparts on the other side.
Their counterparts every single time. Every single time. Whenever we lose the game, it's because the D line that our O line is facing, is better than the counterpart. Every time.
Yeah.
We don't go into practice, not since 2012, where I think we had a good O-line, D-line battle where you couldn't find too many D-lines better than our D-line and vice versa. But out of the championship teams, what D-line was Notre Dame's D-line better than? Not one of them. Not one of them. Not one of them. We weren't better than Alabama's D-line. We weren't better than Oregon's D-line. As a collective.
Yeah.
But that's why they stay the top 10, and we can't get in the top 10. Untapped receiver potential. We don't even have we had Charlie Jones outgain our whole room. Alabama's laughing at that. They like, who is Charlie? Charlie Jones would even start at the top 4 schools that went to the playoffs last year. So until we unlock the potential in those 2 rooms, I think the quarterback, I think we got that piece. The other 2 pieces, I think we can do something with the receiver piece. But the third missing ingredient,
yeah,
the eggs to the cake, we missing that. Or is yet to be seen going in the next year. That's all, because everything else is going to be straight. We have enough talent as a team to get through all these teams. When it gets to those 3 games, those 3 components are going to be the ones that stand out the most. Because those are the ones that's going to get you over the hump. Your receivers, your quarterback, and your D-line. Every game, I'm telling you, every big game that we've lost is because we didn't have all 3. And the other team did. That's the difference. What are we missing? Those 3. The impactful D-line. It's been seen with Georgia and Alabama the last 3-4 years. Georgia's so impressive because their D-line is so impressive.
Yeah.
That's why that's where it starts. And then they sprinkle in, the Keely Ringo kid and a couple of secondaries, but the secondary for Georgia has always been kind of suspect. Even when they was making a run this year and last year, secondary was the weakest part of their team.
Yeah.
Because the strongest part of their team, but all that mattered, was that front 7.
Yeah. And see, this is because I'm looking at the chat, and the chat has, saying like NIL and where do you find these dudes? Okay. Let's say you don't get Jalen Carter. Let's say you don't get
Trayvon Walker.
Will. Let's say you don't get Will Anderson. You know who you can get? Tyree Wilson, who went to Texas Tech. How about Luke Van Ness that went to Iowa? If you can't get those dudes, go get the next best dudes that end up being first-round picks. Like, there's no shortage of big dudes around the country that can play football at a high level.
No shortage.
Go find them. Go find them. Chicago has 2 in the 24 class. 2. Justin Scott and Marquise Lightfoot. 2. Go get them. AJ Espinez's little brother is coming next year. Get him too. You know where to find them. They're all over the place.
Wait, whoa, they ain't all over the place now.
No, I'm saying
they're there. All over the place.
If they can end up at Texas Tech and Iowa, then heck, Notre Dame can get them.
At Iowa, Jesus Christ.
Notre Dame can get them.
Iowa right up the street now.
Find them and develop. Find them and develop. That's it. That's the challenge.
But we need one of them raw D-line coaches, them mean, the inverse of a Harry Houston, like the Harry Houston villain, Somebody that's got that's what a D-line coach is. We've had really great guys that were D-line coaches. Elston's a great guy,
Yeah.
Bring him over, have a couple beers with him, great dude.
And like the article we had a full show on with the Athletic, you look at the All-Pro offensively, first team in the NFL, it's about skill. Most of those guys weren't even 5 stars. Most of the receivers that were All-Pro first team weren't 5 stars. Offensive linemen weren't 5 stars. Quarterbacks weren't 5 stars. But you go to the defensive side of the ball where it's all about physicality and your physical traits, you see more 5 stars pop up on the all-pro team. So, look,
They mentioned
look at the film, physical traits.
they
They
mentioned
go find them and
Jerry,
develop.
but think about how different Jerry was to even bring in as a 5-star D lineman. He is not a regular 5-star D lineman as a person. You know, Jerry was in Paris his freshman year, chilling at the Eiffel Tower. He ain't no regular.
He's a different dude. He's a different dude.
Now, can you get a room full of Jerrys? No. But that's the first round talent. That's the first dominant first round out the gate Quentin Nelson style D lineman that we've gotten in the last 10 years.
Facts.
And that guy particularly is so like he wasn't going to LSU. Come on. He wasn't going to Georgia or Alabama.
Not if you know him.
Not if you know him.
Not if you know him.
That's not so. We can't get a bunch of guys like that. That's stuff.
Well, there are not a lot of big guys that are like carved out like Jerry Tillery. You know what I mean?
When's the last time we got a Lou? Rest in peace, Big Lou. But when's the last time we got a Mean Street Irish chocolate like that? That was what, 300 nose tackle? Personality.
And look, we mentioned the guys that went to Texas Tech and Iowa. You can go get those guys and develop those guys. But you can't win for guys like Miles Murphy. You can't beat Clemson out for defensive linemen after spanking them. At some point, you have to flip spanking them on the field into wins in the recruiting wars, especially along the defensive front. This is how you build. You know, and it's like, how do we do it? That's how you do it. Kick their butt on the field and then go kick their butt in recruiting.
That's what we need to do. We need to become D-line U. I think that'd change the program night and day.
Man.
If we became D-line U and had 2 first-round ends, we will be national champions tomorrow. Just spend a whole all season trying to get a 5-star D-line, and I guarantee we can have Angeli start next year, and we'll go undefeated. Give me a Jalen Carter and a bring back Fauci or something. We would go undefeated.
And it goes back to, as we get ready to transition over to recruiting before we get out of here, it transitions us with this point. Notre Dame is just a different place.
Yeah, just a different place.
It is. And it was tough to hear Cam, as he co-hosted with me Friday, say, I think we need to realize that Notre Dame's just different. And everybody's not for Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's not for everybody. And we might have to settle for winning a championship every 10 years.
Oh, man.
Like, if we think we're about to go run off this Alabama run, and I was like, he said he doesn't know if that's really possible.
Because we can't keep consistent D linemen. You got to win when we strike hot and get a Jerry Tiller. We got to capitalize off of that. We got 3 years to capitalize. In them 3 years, if we stack a Romeo up with that, who's a different guy, but we got to get Justin Scott and Keon Keeley. We can do that. We had them, or have one. But those two, like they said, we'd be halfway there. But getting them and halfway there are two different things, you know.
You know, so that's why we asked the LL question of the day to Notre Dame fans. Would you be cool if Notre Dame won a national championship every 10 years? If you got 2 titles over the next 20 years, would you be cool with that? because that would be a step back from the mindset that most Notre Dame fans have. You would be, for Notre Dame fans to say, yeah, I would be cool with that, you're resigning yourself from what you really feel. You've come to a place of resignation. Like, keep it a buck. Because no one, when Marcus Freeman took the job, no one was thinking 1 every 10 years. We were like, man, we're about to get 2 in the next 5 years.
LeBron in Miami. Not 2. Ride out on this thing.
Right. So we're at a point where, man, I don't know. It's been 35 years, man. I think at this point, a lot of fans would be like, yo, I'll just give me the first one. I'll deal with the rest after that. Right? And Johnny S says one title every 4 years. Johnny, I'm sorry to tell you, if some things don't change in NIL and some other areas, that's not happening.
It's not happening, yeah.
It's not happening. It's not happening. I got D-Rock Irish. You got some paper.
It's like we had a place like we're like Eric Bieniemy.
I mean, you put an L in his name, but I know who you talk.
Eric Bieniemy. We interviewed 15 times. We right there.
Yeah.
Winning, we winning and everything, but we interviewed 15 times for the big shot. And they just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He might get one. He got a half step closer to getting assistant head coach. I already know he can do that. Yeah. But until that Rooney Rule changes, he ain't getting no head coaching job. Whatever they got over his head, we're like Mark Jackson. We might as well just be good with commentating, building some nice foundations, But
KL, that's beautiful. That's so beautiful. That's so optimistic. He said, yep, like UGA 40-year drought. Now look at them. Yeah, look at them.
We're at 35.
Look at them. They have an administration willing to do any and everything to help their head coach win championships. Yeah, look at them.
Yeah. Must be nice.
Look at them. It must be nice.
It must be nice.
I mean, I just listened to him, bro, because I didn't know whether I wanted to resign myself to that. But it makes you think. It makes you think. Justice Scott.
In 2015, we had divine inspiration on the team to play beyond our talent level.
Yeah.
And we was 4 points away from making the playoffs. Lost to the team, ended up going and winning it. So, or losing it first year, going back and winning it. That was the last time we had that type of inspiration on the team. Now it's just like you need some more personality in that locker room, maybe. I don't know. D lineman, you need to get the big. I'm telling you, if we just got 300, 310, and then 265 and a 285 D line.
Yeah.
We could put a bunch of whoever back there.
Yeah.
And Nick Coleman's all that secondary. And we will win a championship.
No. I need people that's going to make a play on the ball. I don't need people in position and it still give up the reception.
It's going to be good because he's going to be covering. They're not going to get the ball off, though, because we got
No. Throw up the 50-50 ball, dude, still come down with it. No.
Throw up 50-50, his odds is like 3%. His odds be like 25.
No. Shout out to Nick Coleman, though. Shout out to Nick Coleman, man. Shout out to Nick Coleman. That dude is like Derek Jeter.
Oh man.
late in his career. Not much range, but always in position.
Like, man, Nick Coleman literally was the best cover corner we had. Like, I swear to God, the best cover corner we had. Just couldn't, I don't know if it was just some people just don't got it, you know. It's just when it comes to ball skills or whatever. But man, I'm talking about perfect coverage, face to face.
Yeah.
It's just the ball just.
So 5-star defensive tackle Justin Scott is going to be visiting Notre Dame on this coming weekend, March the 25th. That will be the day after the pro day. And Notre Dame, which I spoke to him about 2 weeks ago. And see, this is why I tell people to relax when it comes to Justin Scott. There's not one thing that Justin Scott has told me that he didn't do.
Okay, now.
I'm just telling you.
Let me give you an example of your Chicago guys. Another guy I felt real good about.
No. Who felt good? No, you felt good about it. I never said Carnell Tate was coming to Notre Dame. Never. I wrote 3 articles about how Notre Dame screwed it up in the beginning. How they should be out in front of Ohio State.
Yeah.
We had conversations before the shows we taped with him and after the shows. You know darn well what he told us before and after never led us to believe he was coming to Notre Dame. You can stop. You can stop that. You can stop that.
Oh, man, these Chicago guys, man, I'm telling you.
Man, please. That dude never said one word.
Yeah.
I think he was very nice based upon the things that we know that happened.
That's right.
In his recruitment. I think he was very nice. I think he was very nice to Notre Dame, the way he spoke about them and everything. He was very nice. I'll leave it at that. But once again, Justin Scott told us that, well, first of all, his top 3 headed into that original January 31st announcement were Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame. He openly admitted that he was going to commit to Notre Dame on the 31st. He pretty much said everybody knew that. Ryan Day showed up at his basketball game. Georgia shows up at his basketball game, and all of a sudden, he takes a break and say, you know what? And then he flat out told me this. He said, man, look, Notre Dame, I love Notre Dame. We've had conversations dating back to last year around this time where he was waiting on the Notre Dame offer. Waiting. That was the offer he was waiting for. And it didn't come on March 17th last year. That's the biggest miss of this whole thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because this thing, once again, should be over.
Yeah.
He was about to make an emotional decision in the midst of a basketball season. He took a step back, canceled his January 31st commitment, said, I want to do my due diligence. He called Notre Dame. He told them why. Notre Dame told him, you should do that. Go ahead and do what you need to do. This is the interesting thing. For me, I felt like Notre Dame, people were panicking, like, man, I don't know if Notre Dame's going to get a visit. I'm like, what? Stop all this goofy talk. Stop falling for all this stuff. Georgia is a player with Justin Scott because of what they are doing as a program. All this dream school stuff, man.
Dream schools died when NIL started, so ain't nobody, you know.
I'm not saying what other people's sources are saying or whatever. I don't have sources close to the situation. I go directly to the source.
That's right.
And I've been talking to this source for over a year.
That's right.
The offer he was waiting on at this time last year was not Georgia. It was Notre Dame.
That's right.
That's straight from his mouth. Now, what has transpired since then, the one school that pricked his heart and was ready to get him to make an emotional decision was not Georgia. It was Notre Dame.
That's right.
Georgia's in the picture because they're back-to-back national champions, and they put 4 defensive linemen in the first round.
They can guarantee him.
That's why they're in the picture. Not because it's his dream school. Not when did they become his dream school? Because Georgia hasn't won since the last 2 years.
That's right.
Notre Dame has been on his mind since he got to St. Ignatius and before that.
That's right.
So, look, it's a battle. It's a battle. That's it. I'm interested in seeing. Spoke to him earlier. Notre Dame really pushed to get him on campus the 25th. Originally, I thought Notre Dame would want to be the last visit. Right? Because he told me, going back to a man of his word, just last weekend, not the weekend that just passed, the weekend before that, he lost to Simeon in the semifinals of the state championship. He told me, I'm taking a couple of days off to reboot, and then I'm starting my off-season training. And when I get to the next weekend, I'll start scheduling my visits. Everything is going the way he said it was going to go. I talked to him. I said, you started your workouts? Yep. That was the middle of the week. So everything is going the way he said it would go. He told me the love for Notre Dame is still the same. It hasn't changed. And there you go. In a perfect world, you get the unofficial on the 25th, and you bring them back for the official at the blue and gold game. And you lock this thing up.
Lock it up.
You lock it up. You lock it up. I thought, man, be the last of the visits, be the last thing on his mind. Notre Dame, because of all the buzz that's been going around, it seemed like they lost momentum. I actually think it's really smart to bring him in. You'll have national media around for the pro day. That national media will stay around for that practice on Saturday. You have Jaden Riddell, big-time tight end, 5-star as well. Cam Williams, more than likely will be driving down. That's one of his boys from Chicago that's already committed to Notre Dame in the class of 2024. Heck, CJ Carr, if he's not at a 7-on-7 tournament, he might drive down. The magnitude and the importance of this weekend on the Notre Dame staff, they know, and that's why they push for him to get there this weekend, because this weekend is going to naturally be big. It's already big. You have former players that are probably coming back to support the guys at the pro day, right? You had 25 kids coming in, 24 kids are coming in. Like we said, it's going to be a big weekend. So you need that buzz and that vibe when Justin Scott comes to campus. And like you said, it's an unofficial. Get him back on campus for the official at the blue and gold game. That's the best case scenario. But you change the narrative, you reconnect, and you reaffirm what he's already feeling in his heart. He's already felt it in his heart of where he wants to go. You reaffirm that. You reestablish that going into his other visits. And that's why, in my opinion, Notre Dame pushing for him to come in this weekend was absolutely the right thing to do.
That's right.
Absolutely the right thing to do.
You want to show no weakness. You bringing in Justin Scott and trying to seal the deal on that after all what you could think would be negative press on recruiting and just the program itself, showing strength that we can still pull this off and make it happen for somebody that wants to be there. I think that it's another opportunity where we got a guy that high profile that wants to be there, a guy that can add tremendous athleticism and depth to a team that needs it. And we got to lock it up in this spring. We had a last big spring jamboree. We didn't lock it up. Now we got to lock it up this time.
And let me tell you something. You give honor to whom honor is due. When we lament certain things surrounding certain coaches, we speak on it. We lament, we have lamented the defensive line recruiting. 2 weeks ago, TJ Lindsey was an afterthought when it came to Notre Dame on the defensive line. Notre Dame's firmly back in the picture with him visiting Notre Dame now. All the momentum looked like it was going towards Georgia with Justice Scott. Notre Dame gets the first visit on the biggest of weekends for them at the end of March. And Al Washington has made a really, really big impression on Justice Scott.
He better.
And he has a great relationship with Marquise Lightfoot as well.
Oh, that's
Chicago.
Nice.
Marquise Lightfoot said they talk multiple times a week.
Let's get that pipeline going.
Oh, look, tip the cap, Notre Dame fans. You talk, you speak negatively. When it's time to speak negatively, give kudos, because it seems like Coach Washington is recruiting his tail off.
That's right. That's right.
He's coaching his tail off. He got the first visit for Justice Scott. He's coaching his tail off. He's recruiting his tail off. He's doing everything he can to right the ship on the defensive line. So, you have to tip the cap to say, hey, good job. Now you have to finish. And we'll see if they can finish, but I think it's a brilliant job. It's a brilliant job by Notre Dame. You need to quit. The fact that you tried to equate Justice Scott to Cardell Tate, come on, man.
Chicago dudes, man, you don't know.
That cat Cardell Tate was one of the best recruiting informants we ever had, though.
That's true. He gave us the scoops.
Cardell was telling us about stuff about Dante. He was telling us stuff about, man, remember what he told us about Michigan State?
Yep. Inside sources.
And the type what was going on and how that season would probably go. He was spot on. Man, look. That cat, Cardell Tate, he was a pretty good informant.
The nice CI, man.
He was on our books. We had him on the books.
On the books, man.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Shout out to Cardell. But just so you know, when you walk in, don't take this whooping personally.
Straight up.
In South Bend and shit. Don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Because we still love you. We still love you, but don't take it personally. So that's pretty much it, Left. Your thoughts on bringing Justice Scott in for the weekend of the pro day, practice, national media. How impactful do you think it's going to end up being?
Only if we get him. I mean, if we get him to sign a dotted line, it's impactful. Other than that,
yeah.
Other than that, man, I mean, we're a great host. Whenever these events come around, we're great at hosting. But we got to start turning things into the pot of gold that we're looking for.
I like that. I'll see what you did there. I like it. I like that. V says CT is a recruiting snitch. He really is. He really is. He really is. Yo, he said some stuff. I remember the stuff he said about a certain Big Ten coach that was recruiting him. That is still hilarious to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Still hilarious to this day. Lucky Lefty podcast. Did we get everything left? We get all our topics. We talked NCAA championship DNA, what needs to change. One every 10 years, Justice Scott. Hey, we hit on everything. Lucky Lefty podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube channel, Lucky Lefty podcast. Share. Hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live or post something. Smash that like button and subscribe. Let everybody know Lucky Lucky Podcast. CFB Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. Home of the misguided passion. You already know. We spin it different. Coach Carl Reed will be with us on Thursday. Hopefully, we'll have Amir Carlisle tomorrow.
Yeah, I hit him up. He hit me back. So,
and then Wednesday we will have our first show after. Man, practice starts at 7:30 Eastern, bro. I gotta be on the road at like 5.
Dang. Yeah, get up.
It's a short trip, but it's all good. It's all good. You know what time it is.
Oh, no sound?
I don't know. Why is there no sound, bro? I have no clue why this is not doing this thing, bro. Let's try this again. What? I see what I did.
Petticoat, Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, pettiest story of the day brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. Colin Cowherd. Petty train, dude. Come on, man. There's bigger than that. First of all, I don't play that waiting 10 years, 20 years after somebody's career is done to try and like lessen who they are. I don't go for that clown stuff, man. Not for our icons. Because I wouldn't let anybody do that to LeBron 20 years from now.
You're right.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Not doing that. First of all, you're trying to make this man seem like he's bad at business.
He's not a great picker of talent.
All I know is he's about to make a 400% profit on his investment.
That's true.
That's sound business to me. He got a full feature film about his shoe coming out, dog. About his shoe. And look at the jerseys in the Sweet 16. It's a lot of logos that represent him on those jerseys. I'm just saying. You want to talk about success? I think he kind of represents that. That's just my opinion, level.
Just an opinion.
Just my opinion. I think he represents success very well. Petty train, Mario Chalmers, formerly of the NBA, former teammate of LeBron James. Hey, man. Come on down, man, to the petty train.
Here's Bron. Nobody's like, damn, I gotta go play this Bron tonight. Nobody said that. I don't know why.
Right.
Because I've seen people be scared when they actually line up to them, but they're not scared thinking about that matchup.
Right.
You hear anybody from that era talk about going against Jordan, there's a fear.
Right.
So when you have people that fear a player, then that's telling you something different already. Like, Jordan's just that guy, like, everything was, I want to be like Mike.
Right.
Man, that cat Mario Chalmers, former teammate of LeBron James, saying that nobody feared LeBron. Yo. Now, remember Mario Chalmers used to always go at it with Bron. Man, they constantly had fights on the bench.
Mario Chalmers lasted as long as LeBron allowed him to last. And then he got him up out of there.
He got him a couple of championships.
He should be thankful that he got to grace the court with a kid from Akron. That's all I'm gonna say. He need to start showing appreciation like Norris Cole. That's why Norris Cole is still a legend to this day. Mario Chalmers is a hater. That's why he's from Alaska. Bunch of haters up there.
What did Norris Cole have to do with this conversation?
Because that's the better guard. That's all I'm saying. He was a main contributor, way more so than Mario haters Chalmers.
Dude, are you out of your mind? Did you just say Norris Cole was more of a contributor than Mario Chalmers to championships?
Yeah, that's 100%.
Left.
The kid
Dude,
from Dayton connected with
this Ohio slanted propaganda has to stop, man.
Mario Chalmers didn't last after LeBron. Norris Cole did. That means Mario Chalmers was a bus rider. And then when LeBron got off his stop back in Cleveland, so did Mario Chalmers. He went back home to Alaska. Where they eat whale nuggets.
Whale nuggets.
They eat whale nuggets, not chicken nuggets, whale nuggets.
Oh, man, dude.
Chalmers.
Yo, did you read this article about the killer dolphins over in the Indian Ocean?
Oh, yeah, they're gangsters.
Yeah, it was a crazy story, bro.
Yeah.
Dolphins are supposed to be super smart and safe. And
Coach Calipari, man.
You put Coach Cal on the petty train?
Was salty about Marquise Noel and his amazing Magic Johnson-like play. Called him a little guy.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. When his starting point guard, who was injured, is actually shorter than Noel, but Wheeler. But
he was hating.
You call him a little guy?
Kansas State played nice. I got him going pretty far.
Yeah, it was good to see Keontae Johnson, who just recently, if you haven't seen it, collapsed on the floor when he was at Florida during the game. To see him back healthy and back on the court and basically hitting that dagger three yesterday that took Kentucky out, just good. Happy for the young man. Absolutely happy for the young man. Now, I don't know if this Andrew Wiggins story is for real.
Man.
But, hey, if it is, man, that's all-time petty there, boy.
Man.
That's
a reason to miss the team randomly.
Man.
I mean, so you ain't just missing no NBA games for no personal issue for no reason.
Right.
It's on the lines of
right.
I'm raising somebody else's kids.
Now, the accused did take to Instagram to say that the internet is a place of basically trying to refute, but that person never directly refuted what is being reported.
She's just like, just quiet on the exposure. Just quiet down on the exposure, y'all. Y'all making it too big. It's already big enough.
But if it's true, you're a dirty dog.
I mean, oh my goodness.
You are a dirty
And I know her.
dog.
I know her.
Word?
She went to Notre Dame. She played on the basketball team.
Hey, man. Lucky Lefty podcast. We got to stop it right there. Hold up. Hold on. Lucky Lefty podcast. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow, man. That's enough information. Go check out Irish Breakdown. For Left, I'm Shaun Davis. It's been a great Monday, great show. We'll see you tomorrow for another edition of the Lucky Lefty podcast. Have a fantastic Monday, but most of all, make sure that you spit it different.